Last minute shakeup at 5:30 a.m., laundry situation not good. And when your focus is on helping your clients, it's easy to forget about yourself. But NASM knows trainers.
Morning, Ryan. Is your Taylor?
And staying in front of the day isn't always
Thanks,
as simple
Ryan.
as 1,
What's
2,
up?
3. So when the unexpected has you pressing pause,
What's the latest on creatine?
I'm going to get back to you on that.
let NASM1 help you press play. Visit NASM.org to sign up for a membership today.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Share Care Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today we're going to talk about some things. Oh man, is it me? That's the question. Are you talking about me? Because I'm going to say the title of today is called 5 Things You're Doing Wrong as a Personal Trainer. No, not you, the trainer next to you, the other one. Yes, that one. So listen, there are things that we do as fitness professionals, and sometimes we get caught up doing things. Sometimes we get caught up being lazy or inefficient. And so today is really an opportunity for me to, one, check myself, because I still do multiple sessions a week. I'm 15, 20 sessions a week easy. And so some of this is like, hey, Rick, pay attention to you. But it's also, there's a lot of things I see out there and I ain't delighted with it. So I want to talk about it. So the number one thing that I'm going to talk about today, the first thing, maybe not the number one thing, but it's way up there. It's way up there. It's not assessing and reassessing your clients. And I know that you're probably thinking, oh, I'll get an overhead squat assessment. That's a movement assessment. And yeah, that's definitely one of the things I'm talking about. But then what? Like, are they getting stronger? Are they getting faster? Is their heart rate coming down quicker in between sets? Are they better at their endurance protocols? What are you doing to track their success? Because all you're doing is saying, hey, let's track your weight loss, and that's a goal. That's great. I think that's important. But then you're limiting, and every bit of your success and what you provide that benefits that individual is based on whether or not they lose weight. And we know that there's some give and take when it comes to weight loss, weight gain when you're hitting the gym. But we also know that weight loss can really get frustrating. And if the only benefit they think that they're going to get is the one that they told you in the beginning, and that's their goal, and I'm not diminishing it, but they don't think anything else is coming out of it, and it takes a while for weight loss to actually kick in and happen. Can we show that we're benefiting them as a fitness professional? You're not assessing and you're not reassessing. And a lot of times it's like, hey, are you doing weight loss? And then you don't do anything to measure weight loss. So you're not doing the scales with them. They're not thinking about you weighing them on the scale when they're going to come and see you next week. You're not doing girth measurements. You're not doing calipers. You're not doing bioelectric impedance. And if you aren't doing it, then we're relying on them non-objectively for the most part. They are not going to be objective with that information. It's hard for trainers to be objective with it sometimes too, because if you feel the hammer coming down, you might even do the girth measurements and squeeze a little bit tighter. You might squeeze a little bit tighter when it comes to using that tape measure around their belly or around their chest or around their thighs when you're doing it. And you go, oh, look, 1/4 inch. You're doing great. So there's some fabrication too, which is why my preference is probably things like a scale when I can measure it. But the problem with the scale is we're measuring weight. We're not measuring fat. And of course, people are like, hey, I didn't come in when I say weight loss. I kind of meant, don't remove my bones. So now I'm a lot less weight, but now I'm just a blob on the floor. Nobody wanted that. They didn't want that. They didn't want that, you bone extractor. What do they want? To lose fat loss. So they're losing fat. Maybe they're building a little bit of muscle. It's hard to sell that and pitch that too, because I think trainers lean on that a lot and think that, oh, you're gaining so much muscle. Probably not. And probably not. The weight's it's hard. It's hard to gain muscle. It's hard. Trust me. I know. Sad tear. All right. So you're not assessing, but let's move on past assessing for weight. We assess. Ask them, especially if they have some pathologies. What is it like when you are doing your blood pressure at night and you're doing your blood ox? What is it like when you're taking your insulin? Has your insulin gone down? What is it like? Now, the stuff that I can do objectively, 1 mile. How fast are we going to do 1 mile? And y'all, I do not care. You can drop that down to half mile. You can drop down to quarter mile. I don't care. But you got to be consistent with it. And you can also say, I do not care if it takes you 20 minutes to go a mile. Because sometimes we're going to assess people and it's not that they're going a mile. Like, let's say we're running a mile and they walk that mile, or they start to run it and then they absolutely gas out 20 steps down the road, 20 steps down on the treadmill. And then they're like, oh man, this sucks. It's hard. Cool. Keep going. Keep going. You got a lot more to do. And right now, sometimes it's not even physiologically that they can't do it. It's just that they're hard to wrap their brain around it. And so if you make something that's not that long to do, maybe a mile's too much for somebody starting out. So maybe you do a half mile or a quarter mile. But you got to measure that. And then it's a win when they complete a mile. So let's say we just maintain it. Let's just say it's a mile, because a mile is a good anchor to hold on. How fast can you go a mile? And they say, I'm not going to do a mile, right? And they do a quarter mile and they go, good, I'm done. And I'm like, great, cool. Let's see when you do it next time, how far you get. And when they get to a mile, because they will, when they get to a mile, how long does it take them to do it? And sometimes it's their brain telling them, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And their body gets better. And then their brain gets more comfortable with doing this. And as they get more comfortable, then they push themselves a little bit harder and they take off 30 seconds on their time. They take off a minute of their time. You're already a fast mile runner. Good for you. Good for you. We might have a different series of assessments to do. People are like, hey, Rick, it's just, excuse me, my client, it kills their knees. They want to run. They can't run. Cool. What about a rower? Let's do 1,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers, 5K on a rower. Sometimes I like to keep it to 1 and 2,000 meters. I said kilometers. Oh my gosh, 1,000 meters, not kilometers. Misspoke. 1,000 meters on a rower, or 2,000 meters. Don't do 1,000 kilometers because you'll be back next year and they might still be working on it. But we get them on the meters. And as they're doing this, excuse me, it's not taking an incredibly long time, excuse me, but it's starting to get to them. And as it's starting to get to them, maybe they do 1,000 meters. Fine. Great. We're going to try to do that faster next time. They're doing 2,000 meters and they do it okay, but it takes a long time. And they even say, do I have to keep going? He said, no, you can take a 30-second rest. You can take a minute rest, get back to it, and we're going to time it. All right. Oh, let's get back to it. My eyes are watering from doing the coughing. So it takes 2,000 meters on a rower or on a ski erg, or, a mile on the bike, whatever it is. And you're measuring that. And even if they're like, hey, the 2,000 meters, like you get to the 1,000 meters and they're like gassed, like, I need a break. Take the break. Don't push too hard on the first 1,000 meters. Take it easy. And then we're going to build. If they need a break, take a break, but the timer's still going. Timer's still going. So you can take 1 minute, you can take 2 minutes, you can take 5 minutes if you want to. But we're going to keep going, and you got another 1,000 meters to go. And so you can take a break as many times as you want to on the mile or on the rower or whatever it is. Take the break. But you got work to do. And we're going to finish it. And when we do it again, I bet that break's going to be less. And I bet that time's going to be better. And then you make a chart. Here's my assessment chart. You need to have assessments for your 1 rep, 3 rep, 5 rep, 15 rep, 20 rep, 25 rep max. It doesn't matter because you have different people that are going to have different goals. You're going to have some people that'll never do a 1 rep max or a 3 rep max or a 5 rep max. You're going to have some people that probably never do a 20 or 25 rep max, even though I like to put everybody into endurance. But the reason people don't do the heavy stuff is out of fear. They're doing it because out of pain. They have pain or the fear of pain. So it may not take everybody up to those heavy weights. But if you can lift heavy, we're going to give it a go. And if you can lift heavy, you can do endurance. You may not like it, but we're going to hit it, and we're going to get a good all-around, all-encompassing fitness workout, unless you have very specific goals that we're driving to. And it's not overall general fitness that would include mobility, stability, core stabilization, helping out with, your overall longevity and lifestyle factors. But it's like, hey, I'm here solely because I want to get better at rugby. Then we'll focus on that a little bit differently. Okay. So that's not assessing and reassessing your client. Number 2, forgetting your client's goals. I forget my client's goals. I don't remember. I've just been training them for so long. Weight loss? General fitness? I was just kind of doing weight loss, general fitness. And you do a weight loss goal, and they've not lost weight because you're not paying attention. And so general fitness maybe, but are they being pushed to the point? Are they just maintaining something that you were able to get them to 6 months ago, and now you're just kind of doing this? So I put 2 things together on this: forgetting your client's goals, and that goes hand in hand with generic programming. You forgot their goals, and I wrote this program out for Terry. So since I wrote it out for Terry, then Stuart's going to do it, and Jana's going to do it, and Maury's going to do it. And I have all these people who are going to do the same workout because that's the only one I wrote out. And that's not wrong if they all have the same goals and they're all in the same kind of program protocol. But when you got different people that need different things, that are asking for different things, you have got to go back to your SMART goals. You got to plan this out. What am I doing to help them reach their goals? And do we have specific things we're going after? Specific, measurable, attainable, is relevant, time bound. Is there a time on the end of this? I want to see you be able to do a pull-up. 1 pull-up. I want to see if you can do 1 pull-up. What's our timeline? Good. So our first timeline is this is where you see where you are. And then we say, okay, well, first, can I get to a point where you can do 5 negative pull-ups? Can you get to a point where you do 10 negative pull-ups? Good. Can you do a chin hold where you're holding the bar and you're holding yourself chin over the bar and just maintaining that? Can you hold that? Let's maintain that for 30 seconds. And if you can't maintain it for 30 seconds, maybe we start to alter it, because you can't just start doing pull-ups if you can't do pull-ups. So you make your progress, but you're very specific with it. And that way they have something they can specifically go after when they're working out on their own and they're preparing. So don't forget your client's goals. And therefore, here you are just putting together generic programming. Not you, of course, the other trainers, other ones, but not you. Not writing down. Number 3, not writing down your client's workouts. You're not writing down their workouts. Let me tell you something. Write the workouts down. Write the workouts down. I hate when I have somebody that's Rick, where am I? What was the PR from last time? What was my latest PR? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what we did. What was my 5 rep max on this one? I'm going to see if I can do more weight. Oh, I don't have any of that information. I didn't, because it wasn't important to me as a fitness professional to track what you're doing. I had a client that was like, my shoulder was bothering me after the last workout. What did we do? Do you know? Because I just go to their program and I go, oh, this is it. Maybe it was this exercise that we did. And we can put together like a shoulder stabilization workout if doing overhead exercises starts to nag your shoulder a little bit. Let's see if we can stabilize it. And then if it keeps up, we'll remove all of these types of exercises that I know of because I have them listed, and then we can pinpoint which exercise may have done that. And then when it's all said and done, then we can be like, oh, okay, you're having a hard time with this movement and this movement, especially with weight. Let's get you to a physician. Let's get you to an orthopedist. Let's get you to a physical therapist, kind of imaging anything else that needs to get done. But I can track it and I can show what is antagonizing you. But if you're not writing down the workouts, you don't know. And you don't know if you're in stabilization, strength, or power. You don't know what you've been focusing on, because we go back to number 2, because you don't know what your client's goals are anymore. You just been training them for so long, you stop thinking about it, which also goes back to the point in number 2. You're just giving generic workouts. This is a collective kind of you. That's not you, the individual listening to this, because it's not for you, right? Yeah. You got to write the workouts down. I put them on my phone because I always have my phone on me. I know some people in the fitness world who hate it being on the phone, and they're fitness managers, and they don't mind if you have an iPad, because an iPad looks like it is a tablet, but it's an electric tablet. It looks like the old days of having the clipboard and your workouts are here. But if it's on your phone, it looks like, is assumed and is conjectured that you're on your phone. And I get that. I totally get that. But I don't care, because it's my joint, and it's where I keep your programs, and that's where it makes it easier for me to follow. So I do it at my gym. Now, if you've got other people at the gyms and you're like, hey, that's not what we do here, then that's not what you do there. And if they want it on paper, put it on paper, save a tree. Try to find your electronic means to do it, because in electronic means, it is so much easier to find your 1 rep max, your 5 rep max, your time on the mile, your time on the rowers, how many meters you got during an amount of time. So you can test distance, you can do test on time and how much distance you got with that. Just testing. But what does it matter if you don't write it down? Write down the workouts. All right. Here we go. This episode of the NASM-CPT Podcast is brought to you by NASM-1, the membership for trainers and coaches. Members enjoy unlimited access to hundreds of career resources. Get the Edge app to schedule and program clients. Enjoy half off all certifications and specializations. Access free CEUs and more. All of this for just $35 a month. Go to nasm.org/membership to learn more about NASM-1. All right. Number four, you are not keeping up with your education. Whoa, what a great place to put that NASM-1 plug, huh? My producer's delighted right now. You're not keeping up with your education. Now, I mean that in so many different ways. Yes, in order to keep your NASM or any accredited credential, you have to maintain your continuing education credits or units. And that is, for NASM, it's 20 contact hours and some of the contact hours are digital, virtual contact hours. 20 hours every 2 years, 10 hours a year, you just trying to learn better and do better, but being tested on that knowledge too. So you'll go through and you'll do a course, you'll do some type of coursework. There'll be a little quiz at the end, and that's it. That's it. You got to do your continuing education credits. NASM-1 has all of that stuff. So I would say like that's a great way to go about it. Plus you can get specializations, and I'll explain it this way. I have now the senior fitness specialist, which I did some work on that project, but now I'm preparing to go through that course because I have started working with more clients who are older. And so I'm going to take that because not only do I want a credential, I think it's cool. I think credentials are cool. What I like more is the education that it's going to provide me that may help me do better work with my clients that are older, so that I'm paying more attention to the right things. What are some of the assessments that I need to do when it comes to focusing on my older clients with balance, when it comes to what we're able to push, and what are some of the environments that we can schedule them in. I want to keep up with my education. And I got to be honest, I got a lot of education and I still want to keep up with my education. I keep up with it. I read the news articles on the latest things. I get subscriptions to different industry publications that I stay up to date with. I am a member of several professional fitness organizations that have memberships that provide content. I keep up with it. It's important to me. And that's one of the things that you may not be doing right as a personal trainer, is just keeping up to date. Because one of the things that happens is we start to get that message from NASM that's like, hey, your cert expires in 3 months. And you're like, man, I got to get 20 hours worth of education done in 2 months. And you got 3 months, you got to cram it in there, make sure you're documenting it, submit everything. Like, just keep up with it. Keep up with it. And here's another thing. If you find an education that you really, really want and it doesn't provide CEUs, do it anyway. Or you're still going to have to most likely do 20 hours of education in addition to that to maintain your certification. But if you're like, I really love this program, I think it's going to be great for me, it's going to be great for my clients, but it is not an accredited, approved provider for continuing education, you can do it anyway. Now, granted, I will definitely do more things that are going to give me CEUs than things that won't. But there are things I do that are going to give me, that aren't going to give me CEUs, and I just want to learn more about it. Nobody's ever going to be like, I'm so upset I spent that money and that time getting better at what I do for a living. Number five, where you're going wrong here, not you, of course, not you, but thinking weight loss clients are going to lose weight because of your workout alone. Do you think that it's because of your workouts that your clients are going to lose weight? You might be terribly mistaken. And if you've ever heard this phrase, abs are made in the kitchen. Why? Why did they say that? Because you are more likely to lose weight based on your diet than you are to lose weight based on your exercise. But Rick, when people come to us and we talk about weight loss or fat loss, what are we talking about? Are we doing them wrong? No, I'm not going to say that, because I will say this. The working out, being physically active and pushed is one of the greatest supplements to weight loss that you're ever going to find. Number one, controlling your diet, whatever that means, right? So there's a lot of things when we talk about controlling your diet, but discipline around your dietary habits. And the research very clearly shows that that's number one. And if you were to do diet versus exercise alone, diet's going to be better. If you were to do diet alone, exercise alone, or diet and exercise, research has shown over and over and over again, unequivocally, that paying attention to that diet and having constraints around the diet and increasing your physical activity, especially when it comes to working with a fitness professional, you're going to do better off with those weight loss goals. But if you're like, hey, just right here, just come to me and we're just going to do burpees for an hour. Oh, we burn so many calories. Burn so many calories. Well, they're sore enough. They don't move for a couple of days. That didn't do them any favors at all. And I got to tell you what, when I'm kind of bound to a chair or a sofa or a bed, eating sounds like something that is high on my preferred list of things to do. So you got to put them together. If you don't mind your diet, workouts alone probably aren't going to get you there. But Rick, I got a big problem with what you're saying. I bet you do. What's the problem? I will never tell my clients this, because if I tell them that the number one thing they need to do is not come and see me, it's to pay more attention and put constraints around their diet. The number one thing that's what they're supposed to do. I've been pitching them that it's this. They're going to stop training with me. I'm scared that my clients are going to stop training with me. Okay. Can we talk about this? Because I've been there before too. And I had those same fears. And I was real resistant to this piece of data, this piece of information where I was like, that's not true. And it was like almost even you could show me the research. And I was like, I just don't believe you, because I didn't want to believe you. But now what? Now here I am, gladly and proudly saying it to you, so you don't become the person I was, that even after learning became almost hypocritical in my ways of dealing with it, because I was like, oh, it's cool. It's still me. It's still me relying on me and the workouts that we do. You can become so much more effective if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to be effective, if you were to learn more about diet, work with them when it comes to a little bit of nutritional guidance, go become a certified nutrition specialist within NASM's, their CNC, or you can do the certified wellness coaching, which is amazing. It's one of more amazing courses that NASM's put out that can help with things like that. Or just learning more about diet and giving a little bit of information about it, like increasing protein intake, making sure that your protein intake is elevated enough that it's getting you there, making sure that your fiber intake is elevated enough, and minimizing as much as possible these highly processed foods. I mean, that's some easy things. And then I'd just be like, hey, a food journal, write down everything that you eat, bring it in, let's look at it. And you don't even have to tell them. You don't have to tell them, did you need to eat this? They'll be like, hey, listen, so maybe I didn't write a couple things down because I had Doritos. It's okay. It's okay. But write it down so that you see it. Don't leave it off so I don't see it. This is for you. It's not for me. I'm not winning prizes here. I'm trying to get you somewhere. Don't take that off the list because of me. I'm not here shaming you. You had what? Yeah, and 6 little bags of sugar, just little packets of sugar. I just want to eat. I just love it. Just have sugar. Listen, this is not for me. This is for you. You need to write that down. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see what we can do different. You don't even have to tell people most of the time what to do. They just need to see objectively what they're doing because they don't realize it. They don't see it. So don't worry about them not training with you ever again because their weight loss goals and you're a personal trainer, you behind diet are the number one thing that's going to help get them there. But you're not helping getting them there if you say, I am the only thing that's going to get you there. Now you are being delusional. You're now, after hearing this and you keep doing it, you're being hypocritical and disingenuous. We've got to help support our clients. I'll still get you healthier. I'll still get you fitter. I'll still get all those other things when it comes to the assessments we're talking about assessing. We'll get a lot of benefits. But if your goal is fat loss, then we got to talk about more than just coming in and raging with our workouts because you're sweating bullets. That's going to make it happen. That's not how it works. All right, cool. Let's talk about those 5 things just as a recap that you're doing wrong as a personal trainer. Of course, not you. You're not assessing and reassessing. 2, you're forgetting your client's goals and therefore just giving generic programming. 3, you're not writing down your client's workouts. Number 4, you're not keeping up with your education. And number 5, you think weight loss clients are going to lose weight because of your workout alone. And that is very likely not going to happen. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. Leave a review if you don't mind. Put a review out there, and just it allows us to be found by more people, and that's great for us and keeps the program going. So if you want to reach out to me, you can do so. Hit me up on Instagram at dr.rickrichey or email me rick.richey@nasm.org. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM CPT Podcast.